The following is a special presentation of First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. This is the Pizza Inn Lily Million Show. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome to this year's edition of the Pizza Inn Lily Million Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the Greeneville Lady Devils softball team. We'll recap the season up to this point, look ahead, and see what the Lady Devils have next. But first, we need to get a quick break in first, so we'll hear from our sponsors and be right back here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. The Pizza Inn Lily Million Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, and Pizza Inn. Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pizza Inn Lily Million Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the Greeneville Lady Devils softball team. As always, I'm joined here with Lady Devils head coach, Lily Million. Coach, it's good to be out here with you today. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I should say out here on the turf with this newly minted turf that looks really good out here.
Yes, we love it. I mean, it's been a great addition for our field this year, and we're so thankful, that Greeneville City Schools provided that for us. But, I mean, it's fantastic to have. I think we've been outside every single day we could have been outside. So, I mean, it really helps us in the long run. And the girls love playing on it, the field maintenance and everything. So it's been great this year.
How was that transition going from a grass field or a grass infield to a turf infield?
I think the transition can be pretty harsh, if you're jumping game from game to dirt to turf. But in the long run, like if they're practicing on it for a month leading up to the season, they'll be perfectly adjusted. I think some people are a little bit scared of turf. Like, I think one of the big questions that was brought to me was like, what about injury, But I think from our opinions, like in the long run, I think it's more safer. The hops are more predictable, especially when the girls have been practicing on it. So they're not going to get eat up with a rock or something hitting the ball. So we love it. I think the girls love it too. And for our like hitting approach and everything, it's really beneficial because we're like, hit the ball on the ground, it's going to go. So it will on the turf. So it helps us.
And just curious also, whenever you go and play in some of these tournaments, such as the Eastview tournament and in Alabama, do you play on turf infields in some of those tournaments?
Sometimes. This year our tournaments have mostly been on dirt.
Okay.
I think within the next 10 years, pretty much all softball fields will be turf because, I mean, it's fantastic to have. But, like, when we play in tournaments and stuff like that, and we know our opponents, like, who has it and who doesn't, we'll go to Rotary up there and practice, or, we'll go in the warning track and do our everydays and stuff. So they get practice on dirt too, but I think the turf does help in the long run. And it makes them less scared of the ball. I mean, the ball hops on this, and as this is settling, it's getting hotter every day. It's getting really hotter. Yesterday, the bounces were really bouncing, but it just helps them have faster hands. So we love it.
It looks really good out here, I will say that. But it's crazy how you've not had many games on this turf yet. I think last night was maybe the 5th or 6th home game that you've had so far this year, so up to 18 games on the schedule. Not many at home, but let's go through that schedule so far this year. 18 games is a lot to talk about. We won't go through all of them, but I want you to take me through the season up to this point so far, from the very beginning up to now. Take me through the season and give me a season recap.
So we started the year pretty strong. I think we had a couple wins early, and I think this year has just been an adjustment. We've got to figure out, we have the leadership, we have the players. It's just we got to put all the pieces together. So to this point right now, it's kind of we've been figuring out our groove, figuring out what we've got to do to win. We've been playing well. I don't think our record shows that. I don't think it shows as well as we've been playing. But we have not been finishing games, and that's simply just our problem right now. We're putting the pieces together, but we don't know how to put that final piece in to win each game. It's either, we're making routines out and our pitching's great and we're not hitting the ball, or we're hitting the ball and we're dropping routine outs. So we're just not putting all the pieces together. So I don't think our record up to this point really reflects how we've been playing. And also we've played some really tough competition this year, and that was one of the big talking points to the girls before the year was, you have a really tough schedule this year. We had a really hard time finding teams to schedule us. So our competition is really, really tough. Like last night, that's a great team, and we're playing teams out of our conference that are really tough that we didn't have to play, but it only makes them better. And it shows us where our holes are. We started the year off playing Crockett at their place, and that's a fantastic ball team. And we knew it. We knew that was going to be a hard game, and it was. But it showed us where our holes were very early. So I think, I think the girls at times get frustrated with it and everything, but we're starting to get out of that, like, hump of, like, figuring out our groove. Last night we told them before the game, figure it out tonight. Like, start getting in the groove, figuring out what you're going to do to win. And even though the score didn't reflect that last night, they really were in a group. They were, had good attitudes. They wanted to be there. They were cheering for their teammates, and they were hitting the ball. They were attacking the ball last night. It just didn't fall our way. So I think up to this point, it looks really, really tough. And I think the girls sometimes feel it, but they're playing great competition, and it's only making them better.
You had a good little stretch at the beginning of the season, a win over Daniel Boone, a win over West Green, that first loss to Science Hill, and then a win over Cherokee. What worked well in those first 3 games to allow you to get 3 wins by 10 runs each?
I think they came out hitting the ball early in the year. I mean, that's the, what we preach. Our philosophy is, like, if you don't hit, you don't win. I mean, if you don't score runs, you're not winning. So we take a very offensive philosophy, and they did that early in the year. They were hitting the ball, putting the pieces together. We struggled, I think, pitching and defensively at the beginning of the year, figuring out all the pieces. I think we figured it out a little bit pitching-wise, defensively, and it just varies game to game. Like, one game they're hitting great and we can't play defense, but another game we have fantastic defense and we can't hit the ball. And I mean, that's what makes it so tough, and that's what makes it a sport. But I think they came out hitting the ball early in the season, and we kind of hit a hump there of, like, we weren't hitting the ball for a few games, and we're just now starting to get out of it again. I expect 1 through 9 to hit the ball, and I tell them, like, that's what drives my lineup is, hitting the ball. I'm not playing people out of positions, but if you're going to be one of the best 9 hitters, you're going to be on the field. And I think we had a few there that were really, going through a slump, and they're starting to figure it out. So I'm excited to see what's coming. It worked well in the beginning. I think we're almost back there.
Was it Gulf Shores, Alabama you visited?
Yes.
How was that tournament and that trip down there?
It was a great trip. We had lots of fun with the girls. I think the girls really enjoyed it. Softball-wise, we played some fantastic teams. We played teams, triple our size, twice our size, and we just played some unreal ball teams. But to be honest, I don't think, and the girls would tell you this, like, they did not play super well down there. I think, who can blame them? I mean, you go to the beach, I think there were other distractions, when we can go eat, when we can go to the beach and everything. And I don't blame them at all, because, I mean, that's part of the reason we're there. We're there to have fun too. But I think we were a little mentally distracted in that tournament. But we played some great competition, and we saw some really great pitching. And that's always tough, because, I mean, great pitching drives the ball game. If you've got a fantastic pitcher, it can totally kill momentum. So I think that was kind of a turning point for us. We saw those great teams, we saw those great pitching, and it kind of started our little bit of our slump right there.
Have you ever seen a tie?
No.
That was the first time I've ever seen a tie in softball.
No.
I know that it's probably because of a time limit.
Yeah, that's what it was. I think we were playing drop dead, but we didn't have a tie last year when I was here, but typically that's not something normal. And we were the home team in that game. We would have won, and and he called ball game, and that would have been another win. But I mean, it just so happened. But I think too, that tournament was huge. I think there were 45 teams in it.
Wow.
It was a massive tournament, and it was a great tournament because you got to see lots of different things, but there was no like seating based off school size, based off anything. Yes, everyone was clumped in together. And I mean, Crockett was down there, Science Hill was down there too. And luckily they put us apart from teams that we see locally all the time, which we were thankful for. But we were also seeing teams from Alabama and the west side of Tennessee that were huge, and they're massive, and they've got, this person committed to this school and this person committed to that school. So I think it's a little bit intimidating for them. And, I think they saw it. But, I mean, we didn't play bad. We just saw some really great teams.
And the good news is, up to this point, you're winning your conference games, I believe, 2-1 within the conference so far. And those are the most important ones that you want to win, because that, of course, determines the postseason. So through 3 conference games so far, how do you think the girls have played in those games?
In those games, I'm super proud of what we're doing. I think from our coaching philosophy is, we hit hard on those conference games. Like if we have a week outline, we talk about this is the most important game. It's a home conference game. Those types of things. Like we've got to be the most mentally focused for these games, and not saying that we're not for the other games, but we really emphasize like this is a must-win game, and that's what we tell them. Those are the words we use, must-win, because losing is just not an option. Now we lost one to Granger, but we didn't play well that night. We're going through this thing right now where we're not playing defense behind certain pitchers, which is kind of frustrating. We play great defense behind some, and we don't play defense behind others. And they know that, and I know that. It's just we've got to connect all the pieces, because I've got to have all my pitchers, right? Softball is not a sport where one person can carry you, and pitching's a hard thing. Like it takes a load on their arms and on their bodies. Poor Jamie, this weekend, Brindley had got hurt a little bit, and Jamie pitched, I don't know how many pitches, but probably over 150 on Saturday in the Eastman tournament. And then I made her throw last night, and she was hurting. Like and she was telling us that she was hurting, but she pushed through for her team. So we've got to figure it out how to play defense behind certain pitchers. But I'm excited to see where we go conference-wise. We've still got one team we've not seen yet. A game that got canceled, but I think they'll play well conference games. They know how to focus in when they need to.
Talking about the team itself, how do you feel like the team is meshed together? Because year in and year out, you bring a new team in here, and sometimes it takes a while for them to gain chemistry and mesh well together. So how do you feel like this team has meshed together, and how have they played together up to this point?
It's been really interesting this year. Last year, we didn't have some of the issues we've had this year. Not saying we've had issues is not the right word. We've had, interesting for sure. I've got 8 or 9 freshmen coming in, and that many freshmen coming in obviously is going to change the chemistry of a group. I've got 5 seniors who I love them to death, but there's a few of them that are just so strong-headed and just they want to be the leader, and I appreciate that, and I love that's how they are, that they want to be the leader. So we're seeing lots of butting of heads early. We saw that, but they're figuring it out now. I think the seniors have done a really great job of, they've kind of got their own younger ones that they're taking care of. They tell me, well, so-and-so's my freshman, or so-and-so's my underclassman, and they take care of each other. And so I'm proud that they are taking that upon themselves. We've not told them to do that, to guide, and they guide based off, who they're friends with, but I'm really proud of them because they, in practice, the ones that play their same position, they've been doing more teaching this year, which they didn't do last year or anything. So they've been, teaching the younger ones who are coming up and coming to take those positions here in a couple of years. So I've been really proud of them as far as that. But it's definitely been interesting, the chemistry, because I've got lots of strong personalities, which that's just not how I am. So seeing a couple of them, I'm like, oh my goodness. But we do have some strong personalities, and they're leaders, and they're figuring it out.
It's good to see.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the game last night, since it's fresh on our minds too, and we were here to stream that game last night with Science Hill. A very competitive game. It was a game of runs in which each team scored a run of 4 each. They went up 4-0. You tied it 4-4, and then they scored 4 in the 6th to run away with it and win 8-4. But I was very impressed with how the girls battled back after getting down 4-0, because you lose that game 14-4 earlier in the year, and they get up 4-0, and they still battled back to tie it and make it an interesting game. So I know I talked to you a little bit last night, and you were a little disappointed just because none of the breaks went your way, and sometimes that just happens in sports. There's games where it's 0 breaks go your way, and that was the case last night. But how proud were you of the way that they played against such a talented school?
Yeah, we were really proud. That's what we tell them all the time. We tend, not that we like this or encourage it, but we tend to fall behind sometimes. And a team jumping up on us is not, unusual. Our pitching tends to get better as the game goes on. So teams tend to jump up on us, but the approach is always, when they come back to the dugout, it is always 4 runs is nothing. And that's what we tell them, is 4, 5, 6 runs is nothing. It really is in the grand scheme of things, because one person gets on and then, a double, we score a couple, whatever, but it really means nothing. So I think they have to go into it like fresh heads, clean mindset of like, let me get 1 or 2 back right here. I'm not, when they scored all those back, we didn't tell them, oh, you got to go get 4 right here. No, you just get 1 or 2 right here and see what happens. So I think they approach it, we're not in a rush. We're the home team, especially in that situation, to just get a couple back, and it will come. And they did that very well last night.
Of course, you got a game later on today with North Green and a few other games after that on the schedule here at home, getting back to playing here at Hardin Park. But before we touch on those, we need to go ahead and get a break in first. So right after this short commercial break, we'll cover all those games and preview those here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.
Pizza Inn presents I Ate at Pizza Inn. I ate pizza at Pizza Inn. I ate a salad at Pizza Inn.
I ate pizza!
I ate it all.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and I'm inviting you to come and enjoy Greeneville's favorite hometown pizza, pasta, salad, and dessert buffet for just $8 all day, Monday through Friday. And then you can say,
we all ate at Pizza Inn.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect. Games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greeneville, expect the unexpected. Low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at gatewaynissangreeneville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greeneville.
For over 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has proudly served the Tri-Cities with a personal touch because we're not just plumbers, we're family. From simple faucet repairs to full plumbing repiping, we have the experience and expertise to get the job done right. We also specialize in water heater and tankless water heater installations, helping you find the perfect solution for your home. Our technicians stand behind their work and always leave your space clean and spotless. Looking for a plumber who's fast, professional, and reliable? Call Tommy's Plumbing and let our family take care of yours.
Welcome back to First Horizons Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete and Lily Million Show, where we cover everything on the turf with the Greeneville Lady Devils softball team. As always, joined here with head coach Lily Million. So you step away from Hardin Park today, drive just a short trip over to Bayleton to play North Green today on Good Friday, a special Good Friday game with the Lady Huskies. So whenever you go over there to Bayleton, what are you expecting and what are you looking forward to?
I mean, they're a great ball team, and they know that. Our girls know that they're a great ball team, and that our approach, like going into this game and any county game, honestly, is this is not a day off. Like, we have got to go play. I know that they played yesterday, but we have got to go out and be focused and go out to win, because North Green will jump up on us if we mess around. They're a great ball team. They have great pitching. They hit the ball very well, and they've got some really talented younger girls coming up. So I mean, I fully expect a fantastic ball game today. Like, I'm expecting it to be a really good game. But yeah, they've got to go out to win. If they don't, North Green will take it. But I'm expecting us to be ready to play.
Looking into next week, also on Monday, you come back home and you host Crockett, the team that you started the season with and suffered a loss against. So whenever you welcome Crockett in here on Monday, what do you need to do this time to correct that? What do you need to correct from the first game, I should say?
The first game was a little bit rough. I mean, the score doesn't really reflect how they played. We had injuries that game. We had sickness that game. We had a few out, that just simply weren't at the game. I think this time we're all healthy. We're all there. I think it makes a world of difference. We played Crockett last weekend at the Eastman tournament. Should have won it. I think, we had 1 or 2 things didn't go our way, but we played a lot better last weekend against them. We hit the ball a lot better. I think going into next week, it's got to be an approach of hitting good pitches early in the count. Pitchers like to work ahead, and we know that, and we can anticipate that, not expecting this pitch or that pitch, but to anticipate good pitches and attack good pitches early. And that's got to be the approach going off, a fantastic pitcher that they've got. And putting the ball in play is dangerous. And that's what we tell them all the time, too. If they put the ball in play, good things will happen. So, I mean, I think they've got to come in, And I think Crockett, too, they haven't seen they haven't seen Brindley. So I think, we may use that. So I think we're going to change some things up. Let them see some things they haven't seen before. But I'm excited to see what they'll do for the third time this year against them.
This is no disrespect to North Green or Crockett, but I think both would understand that the most important game on this slate that we have to talk about is the Volunteer game.
Yes.
Because it is a conference game. Looking to improve that record to 3-1 as you welcome the Lady Falcons in here on Tuesday at 5:30. What's the mindset going into Tuesday's conference game?
Same type of thing as for Crockett. Volunteer's a great team. Last year we played them, I don't know how many times. We kept getting them.
Did you play them in Tiny Day?
Yeah, we did. And it seemed like every time we could have them in a tournament or something, we had them. But, you know, that's a really good team, and we respect their coaching staff, and we respect their philosophies. But it's the same type of thing. Like, they're going to hit the ball. They're going to come out hitting the ball. We know that. They're going to put the ball in play. They've got some fantastic girls that just simply place the ball. They've got one or two that, you know, when they come up, we know, you know, we're going to have to be on top of it because they're going to find a way on base. So I think, you know, just making the routine outs, putting the ball in play. But I think especially last year, but I think in years past, I think Volunteer, they've done a really great job, or our girls against Volunteer have done a really great job of putting the ball in play and just finding a way on hitting their pitchers. So I'm excited to see them do that. We haven't seen them this year yet. We were supposed to play them earlier in the year, got rained out. So I'm excited to see what they'll do against them. But they've got to be super focused. I mean, it's a must-win game.
Going down to the last half of the season now, what are you most looking forward to as we reach April into the last month of the regular season?
I'm excited to see, you know, how they want to close out their season. We asked them a couple years ago, or a couple weeks ago, we said, you know, seniors and upperclassmen, like, is this, at this point, I need you to think, like, is this the way you want your season to go? And if not, we need to make a change. And that was at Gulf Shores because we had just came off, I think we had lost 5 games on there. And we asked them, we said, you know, if you want your season to be like this, okay, but if you're not happy with it, we need to make a change. So I'm excited to see where they're going to end their season at. You know, I'm excited to see them have some fun, because losing is not fun. We've lost several this year. But I'm excited to see them have some fun, win some games, and enjoy their time out here, especially the seniors. You know, a few of them have played softball their entire lives, and they're going on to play. And even the ones who haven't, like, are not going on to play, I'm excited to see them have fun and enjoy it out here with their best friends for the last couple weeks. But yeah, I'm excited to see where they go.
For those watching, you do have the opportunity to come out here and watch the Lady Devils on Monday and Tuesday. Of course, they play today at North Green, but this will be out after that game. But we hope to see a lot of Lady Devil fans out at North Green today on Good Friday. But Monday, you can watch them here at home against Crockett, and then Tuesday against Volunteer. Both those start times set for 5:30. So come out and enjoy some softball here at Hardin Park in a beautiful facility with beautiful new turf. If you've not been out yet, hey, come out and see the turf. And if you have been out, hopefully you continue to come out and support the Lady Devils. But Coach, unless there's anything you've got, see, that's all I got for you.
Thank you.
I believe you've got a lot of Easter eggs laying out here.
Yeah, we do. We're having an Easter egg hunt. The girls don't know, but we told them to be down here, and they thought they were in trouble. They're not, but we're having an Easter egg hunt. So they'll probably fight each other for them. But
are there prizes?
There are prizes.
What's the prizes?
There's candy. There's little toys and stuff, because you know how they are. Yeah. The girls this age, they just want toys and stuff. So there's toys.
It's good to keep that competition still going, even in an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
Hey, candy's always.
There's 2 golden eggs. They'll be scrapping for them, I bet.
Is there any money in the golden eggs?
No, but there's a couple dollar bills out there. We
had
a parent donate some money, so there's dollar bills in the eggs too. So
Easter egg hunts are always fun, no matter what age you are. It sucks when you get to that age, you got to hide the Easter eggs instead of hunt for them.
Yes. I mean, but we're serious about it. We've been out here for a while now, and we're like, where can we hide them that they will not find them? So they're under things, on top of things. We take it serious. So
it'll be fun. So hopefully you all have fun with that. Hopefully you all have fun out at Bayleton today, and hopefully come back here at home and get some wins on Monday and Tuesday, and we'll talk about them next week. But unless there's anything else you've got to add, that's all I've got.
That's all I've got too.
All right, Coach.
Well, thank you.
Once again, thank you. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Pizza and Lily Million Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.